The skies and the weather have brightened considerably. The Redskins will have the ball first, so we'll see about Mark Rypien and getting that first hit. These two teams have won 4 out of the last 7 Super Bowls. This is a rivalry that goes all the way back to the mid-1930s. The traditional visit of the Giants to Washington. One that both teams look forward to. They've been two of the best, the very best in recent years. Mark Rypien. He'd like to get on with it. Get that first lick. Ball blew off the tee just as Brad Danuiso approached. And it's very difficult to kick it when it's lying like that.
Well, they'll usually, you know, after they let them have one like that, then usually the next time they bring in a guy to hold it, although it doesn't look like the Giants are going to do that. Place in football when you get a mulligan.
Well, I don't know if you can call that a mulligan.
That's a mulligan.
He traditionally has kicked it out of the end zone, and he continues that streak. Brian Mitchell fielded it. The Redskins will take over behind Mark Rypien on their own 20. The offensive line is as good a shape as it's been in all year. Elowanebe, Brown, McKenzie, Schlereth, and Simmons. The receivers and ball handlers, Viner, Brooks, Sanders, McGee, and Middleton, the tight end. But they use all kind of different formations. It's hard to put a finger on who's going to be in the starting lineup. Monk is lined up behind McGee. Red Cashin, the referee, says we're not quite ready to go yet.
Game clock will be kept on the field.
Game clock will be.
Time will be on the field.
I thought the official time was always on the field when he was in charge.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that the clock doesn't mean anything. The Redskins are starting, Pat, here in an interesting formation. They have 4 wide receivers in the game. Yeah, but what he's saying is that the clock doesn't mean anything. The Redskins are starting, Pat, here in an interesting formation. They have 4 wide receivers in the game. In addition to their 2 starters, they have Art Monk and Desmond Howard in there. They have wide receivers lining up tight. Now they're all spread out.
So it's McGee at the bottom and Howard wide to the left. Monk and Sanders inside. Rypien goes right to work. Come on. He gets about 7 or 8. And here's the Giant defense. The 3-4 look. Fox, Dillard, Hamilton. The linebackers, Taylor, Brooks, Bailey, and Miller. And in the secondary, Williams and Collins, the corners, Jackson and Guyton, the safety. 153 consecutive games now that Art Monk has caught a pass. 2nd and 3. Brooks is the lone setback. Middleton was the man in motion, and that's Brooks. Reggie Brooks, first down. Redskins outside the 35-37.
Good mixture by the Redskins on this drive. The first play, they start with 4 wide receivers. Then they come back with 2 tight ends, 2 blocking tight ends, Ron Middleton, James Jenkins. On that play, they brought Jenkins like a pulling guard, and he led through for Reggie Brooks.
Monk in the slot to the right. Sanders outside him. Rypien to Brooks, spun away from one man and picked up about 4 yards. It didn't appear he would get stopped by Michael Brooks.
This Reggie Brooks is really something. I know when we talk about Richie Pettibone, about Reggie Brooks, he says that, you know, he's a home run hitter. He's the type of guy that on any play he can go all the way. He sure made a great spin move on that. Mike Fox, the defensive end of the Giants, was right there. He had penetration in the backfield, and Brooks put a spinner on him.
And it brings up 2nd and 6. Rypien to throw. Brooks. Harry Williams made a dive for the interception, didn't quite get there. Brooks, the one thing he says, Richie Pettibone, about him, home run hitter and all the rest is he's not a very good pass receiver.
Yeah, and I think on when you want to pass the ball, they're going to take him out like they are now. And they would rather have like a Brian Mitchell in there or an Ernest Biner, that type of guy.
This time it's Mitchell.
You know, one of the key things also, Pat, is the Giants have yet to hit Mark Rypien. That's big for the Redskins.
Mark in motion. Rypien to Mitchell. He is hit about a yard short of a first down. The lunge got him closer. Hit by David Tate, but I do not think he got the first down.
Now, and Richie Pettibone has his first decision here, and he's putting in his punt team.
Reggie Roby, look at the average. Almost 50 yards, and it stays up there a long time.
Well, if he punts it 50 yards from here, it's going to be very close to the end zone.
Dave Meggett standing back for the Giants at the 10-yard line. Roby. This one's not his best. Meggett signals fair catch right at the 11-yard line. That's where the Giants will take over. 0-0. We're in the first quarter at RFK. Nothing. Phil Simms will lead the Giants at quarterback. In front of him, a good, big, strong, veteran offensive line. Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Kratch, and Riesenberg. Louis Tillman starts at running back with Kenyon Rashid, Gerard and Jackson wide, and Howard Cross to tight end. Tillman is the deep back. Good yardage, about 5. And now the Redskin defense. Noga and Buck, the ends. Johnson and Wilson, the tacklers. The tackles, I should say. Gouveia in the middle, Collins and Banks on the outside. Darrell Green and the rookie Tom Carter, the cornerbacks. Edwards and Copeland, the safeties. 2nd and 5. Good start for Louis Tillman. Again, stopped by Gouveia and Jason Buck.
You know, that last play, you saw this guy right here in the backfield with Tillman is Aaron Pierce. Now he's another tight end or the H-back. And we look at the Giant roster, they only have 3 running backs, Louis Tillman, David Meggett, and Kenyon Rashid. So sometimes they only use 1 running back in there, and they will use Aaron Pierce also in a running back position.
3rd and 1. Meggett is now the lone setback. And the handoff is to Meggett. First down. Gouveia again the stop.
There's Jim Hannafin, and he's drawn the defenses for his offensive line. One of the best offensive line coaches in football. A guy who's really dedicated his life to the play of the offensive line. And you know, and his players always love him. Wherever Jim Hannafin coaches, the players that play or ever played for Jim Hannafin just love the guy.
Does a very effective job. This is Louis Tillman, hit behind the line, dragged the tackler. Bobby Wilson up back to the line of scrimmage. Those are the byes today: Atlanta, Detroit, the Rams, San Francisco, New Orleans, and Seattle. The NFC West, Detroit and Seattle. Somehow, well, those are the other games later today. New England at Phoenix, Jets, Raiders. Tonight it's Denver at Green Bay, and tomorrow Houston at Buffalo. That's tomorrow night. I'll be glad when all the byes are over.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go into a restaurant and you get a half a menu or something. You know, where's the rest of the food?
Sims steps up out of the pocket, swings it outside to Derek Brown, who will be close to another Giant first down. Believe he has it.
Hey, Derek Brown, remember, was the #1 draft choice for the Giants a year ago and really hasn't fit in as a tight end because he's not a blocker. And so they do things like this. They get him to the outside, and he is a good pass receiver. That's a tough thing. You can't play a tight end a lot if he's not a good blocker. He has to be a spot player all his life or become a good blocker. That's what Derek Brown's going to have to do.
That's Aaron Pierce, who's in the backfield with Tillman. He is a good blocker. Here's Sims back to throw. He had time, and he hits Sherrard across the middle. Darrell Green made the stop.
Yeah, they were trying to get to Mark Jackson deep. You watch here, Phil Simms has good time because what he does, he had Pierce in the backfield. He stops and helps and then goes out. He kept the extra back in there. And you're going to see Sherrard. He's going here against Darrell Green. He just runs it in. He was the second receiver. Simms was trying to go deeper to Mark Jackson. Came off Jackson and went underneath.
First and 10 Giants at the Redskin 43. Bart Oates doing some late-minute calling for the line of scrimmage. That's Tillman. A yard, perhaps. Bobby Wilson made the stop.
Again, and Aaron Pierce in the backfield leading for Tillman. That's one of the good things. You know, you got a bigger guy in there blocking, but the bad news is you know he's not going to carry the ball. So if he's going to be a lead blocker all the time, he's going to always lead you right to where they're going. That's why they can't keep him in the backfield all the time, too.
Second and 8.
They can't put Derek Brown in there because he can't block. So that's why you have a lot of such situation substitution on this Giants team.
Meggett now looking for an open spot and found it. Dave Meggett, first down. Monty Coleman got him out of bounds, but Meggett got a Giant first down.
And if you look at any guy on this Giant team that can explode or make a big play, it's Dave Meggett. Here he starts in the backfield, just comes through the line of scrimmage, lets the defense get deep, and then he catches the ball and then starts to make that move. You see that first one? He just put a planted, boom, that right foot went back to the left. And when he planted that right foot, he left 5 guys out there.
That's Darrell Green, the injured Redskin. 0-0.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. Xerox, the document company. AT&T, we help put your world within reach. And by new advanced high-tech formula Quaker State Motor Oil. It's formulated for today's high-tech engines.
See if we can figure out what happened to Darrell Green momentarily. He's up and walking. He's on the sideline. This is Tillman. Right side, no gain. Danny Copeland up to make the stop.
Yeah, Darrell Green's okay. He's coming back in. You can see on that first down play that Dave Meggett run, you can see he didn't use his arms here. I think he just jarred his knee when he hit the ground. And then he wasn't sure if he was hurt. He went to the sideline for one play and figured out all his parts are okay. And when you played in this league for 11 years, once in a while you have to check all your parts.
Especially at cornerback, where Darrell Green has played so well. The handoff is to Tillman. And the cutback near the Redskin 21. Tripped up by Edwards.
Until that play, every Giant run had been to the right side. That was the first run to the left side. But you see what Tillman does. I mean, Tillman is a real quick guy. He's a slasher. He doesn't wait for stuff to develop. I mean, he's going to go and, just like Phil Simms said yesterday, you're going to hand him the ball and he's going to bang it into that hole. And Lewis Tillman will get to a hole as quickly as any back in this league.
Probably quicker than Rodney Hampton, who is sort of a waiter, feeler, but stronger.
Yeah, Rodney Hampton is bigger and stronger, and Tillman is more of a slashing runner.
Sims quickly over the middle to McCaffrey. And McCaffrey gets it down inside the Redskin 10 to about the 8.
Watch how quickly Phil Simms gets out of there and takes a short drop and get rid of the ball. He sees that blitz coming. 1, 2, 3, boom, that ball is gone. He read the blitz. He knew the guy that he had to go through was McCaffrey. He knew that he couldn't hold it a long time, and he did all those things right.
Dan Reeves was saying to us yesterday, we just got to get McCaffrey involved more. He just played so well, practicing so well.
Because he's a big target who is easy to find and has a feeling to get open.
Tillman inside the 5 to about the 3. Edwards again made the stop.
Yeah, we were talking to Darrell Green yesterday. He said over the years, Darrell Green's an 11-year veteran. Phil Simms is a 15-year veteran. He says, you know, he said, we've played against Phil Simms so long. We all have so much respect for him. He said he's just an engineer. He said you don't say he's a great this, he's great that, but he's an engineer, and he engineers his team on great drives, and that's exactly what he's doing here.
Rashid in the backfield now with Tillman, and that's Tillman. Touchdown. He does hit in there quickly.
And I'll tell you, that's the way to do it. That was a great drive by the Giants, but if you're going to run down there in short yardage and goal line, you'd like to get in there behind William Roberts and Jumbo Elliott on the left side of that line, and that's exactly where he went on that play.
That's a very intelligent decision. For the extra point, David Treadwell. Hits it down the middle, and the Giants start out on top 7-0 over the Redskins. 4:18 left in the first. RFK Stadium in Washington. The Giants 7, the Redskins nothing. 4:18 left in the first quarter. That scoring drive, 13 plays, 89 yards, almost 8 minutes they kept the ball. They lead the league in time of possession. The Giants do. That certainly didn't hurt.
The other thing they lead the league in is third down conversions. They have the best third down conversion, and the Redskins are last in third down conversions.
Deloiso, kickoff sails out of the end zone. One hop into the stands.
Now watch how this run for the touchdown starts. Here's Howard Cross right here. Here's Jumbo Elliott, and they block down. Boom, boom, and they just collapse this side of the line. Then after you get those two blocks, anything else, stop it right there. You can see once you get this type of thing here, now you just isolate them there, and that's an automatic touchdown. But it all started with Howard Cross and Jumbo Elliott.
Like it was diagrammed. 1st and 10 Redskins, who still this year haven't scored a point in the first quarter. Outside Ricky Sanders. Stopped by Collins quickly.
I think the key is, of course, the Redskins have to get first down. Like Mark Rypien said yesterday, he said, we're going to be conservative, but we have to move the chain. And I think the big positive for the Redskins, although they're down 7-0, is the fact that Mark Rypien, with that bad right knee, has yet to be knocked down. If the Giants want to have success defensively, they're going to have to start knocking them down.
Here's Rypien chased by Taylor. Screen pass set up to Brian Mitchell. And the right play call.
I think Taylor's hamstring is okay because they're going to throw it at him, and you watch Lawrence Taylor. He's going to come from the left side. Here's Lawrence Taylor, and he comes like he's shot out of a gun. Now, you better have a screen on because you're not going to block him. Usually you bump him there, but if you don't bump him, you better throw that ball over him and get your hat. Get going.
1st and 10 Redskins. Nothing there for him. Right now for an NFL update, back to Jim Nance in New York.
All right, Pat, the Cowboys are on the board after a Thomas Everett interception. Aikman flips it 1 yard to Darrell Johnston. 7-0 Dallas in the first. Back to Pat and John.
7-0 here at RFK. The Giants over the Redskins second and a little bit over 10. 3 wide receivers. The Redskin offensive scheme. Rypien to throw. Incomplete, intended for Monk, who is saying he was held, but no flag on the play.
You know, Lawrence Taylor makes a pretty good move on Ed Simmons. Watch Taylor right here. He's going to start out, then he starts moving here, then he goes back to the inside. That made Rypien move just a little before he wanted to, and more importantly, throw the ball before he wanted to.
And brings up 3rd and 11.
But Rypien still hasn't been touched yet.
Middleton is the move man. Rypien steps up. Complete. The receiver. Rypien was on target to Sanders, but he took a couple of jolts from the Giants secondary and couldn't hang on.
And I think the big one was the Giants had their nickel in there, so they had the extra safety, David Tate, in there, number 49, and he was the guy that hit Middleton. You know, Middleton knows what an inside hit is.
Here is Reggie Roby with Megan back deep. Roby has done a whale of a job. Again, not his best, and this one can be returned by Megan and will be. At about the 46.5-yard line of the Giants, they'll start another possession. 7-0. Giants lead. Giants lead 7-0. Lawrence Taylor. He had some hamstring problems going into the game. Ricky Sanders had some shoulder problems coming into this game. And they're both obviously still troublesome. And first down. Tillman into Redskin territory. Stopped by Tim Johnson.
You know, in that play, Pat, the Redskins right at the end, they tried to bring their safety, Brad Edwards, up. And Richie Pettibone was saying what they want to do is on running downs is try and get 8 men up, but disguise it. And that time they brought Edwards up late. He didn't do anything once he got up there, but that's what the Redskins are having problems right now, is stopping the run, so they have to involve their safeties in it.
Tillman on second down. Surges close to a first down. For an NFL update, again, let's send you back to New York. Jim Nance.
Well, Pat, the Colts turned it over again. A fumble recovered by the Cowboys, and watch Emmitt Smith dash 20 yards for the touchdown. It's 14-0 Cowboys in the first quarter. Pat and John, the Cowboys cranking it up.
7-0 Giants here. Their record 3-1 coming in. Phil Simms on the first possession the Giants had. First down was 4 out of 4 for 57 yards. He hasn't thrown this time yet in this possession.
I think he had great mixture. You know, we talked about Phil Simms being able to throw, to move the ball around. He's had good protection, and it all starts with this team with their running game. And Tillman has played very well so far.
Tillman's the D-back. Gets the carry again. Gets inside the Redskin 40 to about their 37. Brad Edwards made the stop.
You know, Lewis Tillman went to Jackson State, the same school as Walter Payton. And he said that when he went to Jackson State, he didn't even know that Walter Payton had gone there. He said, but he learned after, and then he broke his rushing records. And you can see why. I mean, the guy has great moves. He has great instincts to be a runner. And he can start one way, change directions, hit the hole quickly. When he knows he's going to hit just like that, when you see him bend down, you don't want to have your shoulders up. You always want to run behind your shoulders.
So that's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Giants 7, the Redskins nothing. The Giants 7, the Redskins nothing. Watch Taylor doing a little studying of the picture portion of the Giants sideline drill. The opposition has outscored the Redskins 40-0 now. That includes this game in the first quarter.
I think that's the thing that's been haunting Richie Pettibone in this Redskin team this year, is that slow start. I mean, when you go all these games and they haven't scored anything in the first quarter, that means you're getting off to a slow start every week.
Tillman should have enough for the first down, stopped by his ex-teammate Carl Banks.
I'll tell you, it's luckily he ducked on that one. Watch Carl Banks come over the top. I mean, Carl Banks come to make a big hit on this one. He was bringing everything he had. Watch it. He starts there, and there goes 58 up in the air. Tillman luckily sees him, stops a little, and then moves to the left to find the soft spot. And he kept going in that direction. That would have been a heck of a collision.
He got the first down. And the Redskin 32. Sims gets to Megan. Megan hit Darrell Green on the sideline. And Darrell bounced off of there like he was made of a lighter substance.
Yeah, who would have thought, especially for Megan. You know, he's one of those 5'7" guys. You would never call him physical. Fast, yeah. Quick, yeah. Elusive, yeah. But you didn't expect that. That was a KO punch. What? He gets underneath that shoulder pad and he roots him. That's a root. And the first thing that hits for Darrell Green is the back of his head.
2nd and 8. Sims. Pass complete to Mark Jackson. Darrell Green draped on his back.
Yeah, with Dan Reeves, the Giants always have some trick plays. In fact, they have one that Meggett is going to throw a pass. You know, a run pass. And one of those passes, they have Phil Sims is going to be in the pass pattern. Now, if you're going to call that, where you're going to throw one to your quarterback, this is the area that you usually call a run pass of that kind of play.
4 wide receivers, Meggett deep. 3rd and short. Meggett. Another Giant first down inside the Redskin 20. Stopped by Monty Coleman.
And the Giants were going to miss Rodney Hampton. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, but I'll tell you, the combination of Lewis Tillman and then David Meggett is pretty darn good for him today.
It has been very effective.
And it's got these other guys, you know, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. Derek Brown is a wide receiver. I mean, they are really using a lot of personnel packages.
Sims to Tillman. Inside the 15, about the 12. Dragged down by Andre Collins.
There's a guy who's been an offensive lineman in this league for a long time. A heck of a one, Big Joe Jacoby. 13th year in the league, and you know, when you think of offensive linemen and offensive tackles, I think he kind of epitomizes that position.
He really does. 2nd and about 6.
There's an audible.
Pierce moves back into the backfield, and not everybody got it quite straight. Sims calls a timeout. He'll go over and visit with Dan Reeves. Well, maybe he will if he'll talk to him. The plain fact is that women are buying guns like they never have bought them before. Sales of the Smith & Wesson Ladysmith have doubled tonight on 60 Minutes. It's followed by Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. John Smoltz takes the mounds for the Atlanta Braves against Danny Jackson. Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch at 8:29. 2nd at 6 at RFK Stadium. Ball at the Washington 13. The Giants lead 7-0. Sims to Tillman. Not much this time. Well, he gets more than it appeared he'd get when he first got hit.
You know, Lewis Tillman has that type of running that when you run into something and the more guys come, the lower you get. You never want to be caught with your shoulders up. You always want to be down lower. Then as more guys come, you keep getting lower and lower, then you'll be getting underneath all their power, and you still have power.
You know, John, we make so much, those of us in the media business, of he broke all of Walter Payton's records at Jackson State. He said he never met Walter Payton until last year on an elevator. A.J. Johnson up to make the stop.
Well, Meggett's saying he's having a first down. The Redskins saying that he didn't get a first down. It was a good tackle by A.J. Johnson.
Sims signaled first down, but there are no stripes on his jersey.
Now they're going to measure it. Red Cashin is calling the chains in. See, the chains are on the other side of the field. So they'll mark the ball, and then they'll bring the chains in across the field. Either going to be a first down or it's going to be fourth and very short. Ready?
Red Cashin has got one of the great calls for first down. That's one of the great sounds of pro football.
Yeah, but I don't know that Red Cashin uses it when the visiting team gets a first down and they're ahead 7-0. Red doesn't use that then. I think
mostly after a penalty.
I think Red uses it when it's for the home team gets the first down. Then they think they're cheering for him.
It is a first down and goal. Tillman is the lead back. Aaron Pierce just moved a little. Tillman hit right at the line of scrimmage by Tim Johnson.
And this is why it's so true. We always talk about, you know, in a game you have to be able, even though it's a passing league, you have to be able to run and stop the run. The Giants are really, what this drive has been, almost an all-run drive. But once you get the run going, then look at what guys have to do. Then they have to start playing the run. You get everyone up in the line of scrimmage. You start bringing those safeties up. And now I'll guarantee you it makes passing a lot easier.
Second and goal from the 7. Tillman is the lone setback. Sims is going to throw. Maybe. Does. Touchdown. Howard Cross.
That's the thing that the running game does. When you can run, then you can play pass. You get them all bunched up. On the replay before, we saw how the Redskins were committing, bringing the safeties up, having to do that, having to get help for their linemen and linebackers. Then they're all bunched up, and boom, you can get in behind them in the end zone.
Once more, the Giants are dominating the game clock. Extra point by Treadwell hits the upright and is no good. 13-0. Giants lead. .43 left to play in the first half at RFK Stadium. The Giants lead 13-0. 13 plays, 53 yards. Cross the touchdown from Sims. Galuiso set to kick it off. Line shot kickoff this time. Chased and fielded by Desmond Howard. It's a 1. Howard to about the 28. The touchdown again.
And if we look here, we're going to see the time that Phil Sims has. And he has perfect pass protection because he's able to wait. And it all started because of the run. He's 7 for 7 today. But look, he has time here. He moves up a little there. And now he's going to move again a little. You see, now he moves a little here. Now, if we stop it here, we see, is he throwing here to Cross? Or is he throwing here to Mike Sherrard? When things like that happen, you don't know who he's throwing to. You still get a completion. He's 7 for 7 today. And someday, things just go perfectly.
That was Brian Mitchell stopped by Bailey.
But Sherrard, he thinks he's getting the ball. Watch him. He's there. He has it open. He concentrates. He looks the ball into his hand. And whap! Here comes Cross.
He probably thought it was intercepted.
Yeah. But he was doing all those right things you have to do. Sherrard had great concentration. Hands in proper place.
Everything but the ball.
Watch the ball into his body.
Reverse Howard. Now flea flicker. Here's Rypien back out to Desmond Howard. Howard out of bounds at about the 40. After all that, they got enough for a first down. Bailey knocked him out of bounds.
This is what you do. You're going to hand off and then throw back and then get the whole thing going. Watch here. It starts off with a handoff, and then we get the handoff here, and then it's going to be a flea flicker. See, now he goes back. Now he hands to Desmond Howard, who has it here. Now he flips it back to Rypien. Now Rypien throws it out there to Howard. And all they got out of that was a first down, but that is what you call razzle-dazzle.
That's Brooks. And there's a fumble. Loose ball. Giants say they have it. So do the officials, and they'll take over.
Hey, if the Giants can get the ball here and go in on another score, they can blow this game open right here.
Greg Jackson made the recovery.
What the Giants have done here has been perfect. I mean, they've gotten the ball, they've run the ball, they've kept it all the time. They've frustrated the Redskins, and the Redskins get in. They're trying to make things happen. Here's Brooks, just as he comes in there, just as he was starting to move.
First down, Giants. Here's Megan, gonna throw it. Wide open is Sherrard, touchdown. You were talking about it earlier.
Well, we knew that they had a pass where Dave Megan was going to throw it. One of them was a big one or a long one, and another one was one to Sims. They said when things are going like they are today, why throw it to Sims? Again, this is what you call a run pass. You start off like you're going to run. You go to the left, you put the ball under your arm. You bring the defense up. Now, they're so concerned about run because the Giants have been running on them all day. The defense comes up. Everyone wants to come up to help on the run. And boom, that's the perfect time to call that play.
Treadwell's extra point is good. This time it's 20-0. Sherrard's first touchdown as a Giant.
Watch how this defense comes up. Megan can throw it. All he has to do is get that thing out of there.
The Giants over the Redskins. 8:14 left to play in the first half. Carl Banks chastised himself after his play against the Dolphins last Monday night. Upset on the sideline today.
Yeah, he should be, because this Redskin defense is being embarrassed by this Giant offense. Now watch what happens when you can run. You see, this is going to start with a run pass here, but watch. The first guy to come up is Green. He's going to come. The second guy is the safety comes here. The third guy is this safety comes. Everyone reacts to the run when they see the pitch to Dave Megan. See the corner, the safety, the other safety, and here's Sherrard right here running by everyone. Now, he's completely wide open because they know that they hadn't stopped the run, and they needed all the help they could to stop the run. So everyone starts to help on the run, and boom, they don't play the run pass.
Outside to Brian Mitchell. And the Redskins have got to get something going.
You know, in talking to the Redskins yesterday, they felt that you don't want to say when you're 1-3 or in the 5th game of the season that it's a must game, but at this point it's as close to a must game as you can have, because this division can just start running away with them, with the Eagles being undefeated, the Cowboys maybe the best team in the league, and then the Giants playing very well.
Rypien. Hand off to Mitchell again. Stopped by Brooks.
I think Carl Banks probably is affected as much as anyone because, of course, he played all those years with the Giants. Here's said that last week he played terrible. It's the worst he's ever played. Shouldn't have even gotten paid. And he was going to be a fired-up guy today. And you start up down 20-0. That's tough to take.
First down, Redskins. Monk on the move and Rypien back to throw. To Brian Mitchell. Flag on the play.
You know who's made a lot of plays defensively for this Giant team so far is Michael Brooks, the inside linebacker right there, 94. He was the guy that caused that last turnover. And, of course, the Giants got the touchdown. He's made a lot of good open field tackles here for the Giants. He's not a big, strong, physical guy. He's a smart
Holding,
guy.
number 69 on the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
Mark Schlereth. Call for holding.
Watch Michael Brooks here. This is a big thing that a linebacker has to do is to be able to tackle. And then be able to tackle in the open field. And that's what Brooks does well. Again, he's not the big, strong, physical guy. He's a guy that calls the defenses, adjusts the defenses, has good speed, can go sideline to sideline, and a good open field tackle.
Rypien to throw. Screen pass. Mitchell again. Giants play it well, led by George Thornton.
This is a good reaction here. You see, once you're going to start your rush, the three-man line starts a rush. Taylor on the outside. You got your four-man rush. Now, Taylor's the first guy that feels it. In fact, I think they blocked him too soon. So he wants to come out to the outside, force it back to the inside, and then Thornton's coming right down the line.
2nd and 16. 5:55. Rypien almost fell down coming away from center. Regained his balance, got it outside to Mitchell.
You know, one of the things that is tough about coming back now for Mark Rypien is they wanted to, you know, be conservative. They wanted to just move the chains, get some first downs. But then if the other team goes along with it, it's okay. But if the other team jumps ahead 20-0, you can throw that conservatism stuff out the window, man. You got to start going for it.
You got to get it up the field. You're right. Rypien is 8 out of 11, but just 53 yards. 3rd and 10. Rypien, Ricky Sanders. First down. Jesse Armstead made the stop.
Jesse Armstead is one of those guys that comes in and plays a nickel. He's number 98, and he's kind of half a linebacker, half a defensive back, because he has a real good speed, but not the size. The Giants were just playing zone. Sanders had a pretty good feel. Had guys on both sides of him. He just came under control. Rypien saw him and hit him with it.
That's Mitchell. Left side, cross midfield, into Giant territory.
Dan Reeves has done a heck of a job with this Giant team. He said that he was fired by the Denver Broncos and kind of thought that he would take a year off coaching. And Frank Gifford called him and said, "You need all the control." He said, "No, I don't need all the control." And he said, "Have you ever told George Young that?" And he said, "No." So why don't you call him and tell him? So he did.
Tim McGee. Surge for another Redskin first down. David Tate on the stop.
Well, he said he just called George Young and said, "Look, I don't know if you have a coach or you don't have a coach, but I don't need all the control, and you guys have been successful. You've won 2 Super Bowls, and if you would want me, I would love to come there." And that's kind of how it all happened.
And it's been very successful. Dan says he can get to the stadium in 16 minutes. That's great.
Likes New Jersey.
Rypien's passed him up. Like about 8 yards, stopped by David Tate.
They say that Monk is in good a shape or better shape than he's ever been. The Giants know that they have to knock Rypien down. They have to get pressure on him, and they're getting a little closer. But Rypien knows when you're down 20-0, you have to hang in there, and you have to get the ball up the field.
Well, it's amazing that he's back playing as soon as he is. Rypien. Pass intercepted by Corey Miller. Ball's loose. The Giants have it. At the Redskin 44.
That was a heck of a play by Corey Miller. He just jumped up in the air. Usually you jump up in the air in that situation to bat the ball down. Watch him. He's right up here in this end. He's going to jump up when he sees the ball. When the guy throws it at you, you stop your rush and jump up, but you don't expect to catch it.
Hit him in the head.
It did. It hit him right in the face. And then it come out, and he got hit from behind, fumbled, and they finally got this thing under control there.
Carlton Bailey finally came up with it.
You know, you jump up to knock the ball down. You have to say Rypien threw that ball too low. I mean, when the guy jumps up to knock it down and it hits you in the face, that's a low pass.
Sims to work again. Flag on the play. Jackson made the reception, but a penalty marker down in that area. It'll probably be offensive holding. Illegal use of the hands against Washington.
The Redskins haven't gotten close to Phil Sims yet. He's having a close
Illegal
to
use of the
perfect
hands
day.
to the face. Number 94 on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
There's your first down call.
Yeah, 94 in the defense is the tackle, Bobby Wilson. You'll see him right there on the left side. We can stop it right here. Here's Bobby Wilson here. They say that he used the illegal, his hands illegal. It has to be coming up right there. It is. It was right there when he went to the face mask of Bob Kraft.
That's Megan. We almost had another face mask. Flag on the play. Andre Collins made the stop.
It seems like every time over the years that we've been doing a Giant game, the Giants always say we have to get Dave Meggett more into the game. And then the next week they say it again. You think, well, why didn't you do it last week? This week may be the week that they're doing it.
Gobert. And there it is right there.
Yeah, it's just when you're coming one way and the guy cuts back against the grain, you're just reaching for stuff. You're trying to make a tackle. Those face masks stick out, and you're just going to grab them once in a while.
First and 10, 2 minutes left to play in the first half, 20-0. The Giants lead the Redskins. I don't know if this needs a comment or not.
Well, this is how offensive linemen talk to their offensive line coaches. You got to show them the stuff that they're doing. Saying, I'm going to block it. He lifts my arm up like that. And Hannafin said, look, just go underneath it then.
First and 10, the ball with the Redskin 22. The Giants lead 20-0. Redskins show blitz. Flag on the play. Make it the ball carrier. Got a couple. The blitz might have crossed the line too soon.
Yeah, if we look at that interception again, Corey Miller here really did a heck of a job, because what he was doing is he was getting cut. Now watch him as he gets cut right there. You get cut, then he jumped up. You know, you're taught to, once you get cut, to jump up, and he did that perfectly. He's rushing, got cut, jumped up, and there was the ball.
2nd and 5. Ball at the Redskins 17. Sims will throw it. Howard Cross, second of the day. Touchdown from Sims to Cross. Very familiar pass the Giants have run for years. Charles Mann just had knee surgery. It can't be a happy visit for him. 26-0.
Well, you know, you talk about Phil Simms and what a day he has. He's perfect. He's 9 for 9. Darrell Green says he's an engineer. He is an engineer now. He knew that he had Howard Cross coming down that seam. He threw that. He's been throwing that pass for years. Remember the mark tomorrow?
Sure.
The first thing he did, he looked left, looked him off, and came right back to Cross.
Treadwell's extra point is good, and it's 27-0 with 1:55 left in the first half.
Steve Young's eyes.
The pass to Harper. Harper off to the races. Phil Simms. What a hot first half he's had.
I think today is as good as I've ever seen Phil Simms. I mean, he is calm, and he is out there, and he has been perfect today, hitting short ones, deep ones, moving around.
Aloiso's kickoff about 3 yards deep in the end zone to Brian Mitchell. Mitchell got Aloiso to beat and didn't beat him.
Heck of a play by D'Aloiso to keep that thing from being a touchdown. Let's watch the touchdown here. Here's Howard Cross. He's going to come up and run a post pattern or a seam pattern. They call it down here. Now, the guy that really helps that is if when you stop it right here and see the hold that you get on Brad Edwards. See? And the guy that does that is Phil Simms by looking him off. Now, watch Simms here. He's going to throw it across, but Simms looks left here. Now that pulls the safety. When he looks that way, that pulls the safety. Then he comes back, turns back to his right, and watch Howard Cross here. Because the safety took the bite on the turn, Howard Cross is wide open in the end zone.
And a perfect throw. 1st and 10. The Redskin ball at the Giant 35. There's Rypien. Incomplete. Intended for Ricky Irvins. Just led him a little too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that Rypien, has been out for a month, and I think that besides the knee, you always talk about the knee and how's the knee and the knee brace and heavy and all this, but you haven't practiced either, and you haven't played in any games, and you're a little rusty. And then if you were ahead, it would be a lot easier to play, or even tied. When you're this far behind, this is going to be a tough go for Mark Rypien.
You can get rid of the rust in a hurry in a game like this. You're going to be throwing just about every down. Shuttle pass. First down. Ricky Irvins inside the 20. Jesse Armstead made the shot. Stop. Jason Buck was hurt on that kickoff return.
Well, they don't have many defensive linemen, so they better get him ready before the Giants get the ball again.
Rypien back to throw it again. End zone incomplete, intended for Ricky Sanders.
What they're doing is working on his right shoulder there, and then seeing how he could move that. And then they test the right hand to see if he has any strength in his hand. That was Charles Mann there talking to him and checking him out. Of course, they missed Charles Mann. He just had knee surgery a week ago.
Coming up at the half, of course, Greg Gumbel is not in the studio. It's Jim Nance. He and Terry will have the highlights. Pass to Irvin. Broke one tackle, broke another tackle. Mark Collins finally got him down.
Yeah, there was kind of forgotten man, Ricky Irvins. I think that Brian Mitchell plays and starts. Ernest Biner plays some. Reggie Brooks came in and had a great year, and Ricky Irvins in his 3rd year has been forgotten.
57 seconds left, first half. Back at RFK Stadium, the Giants 27, Redskins nothing. That's correct. You just joined us. 57 seconds left in the first half. Jim Nance, Terry Bradshaw scores the highlights. And a preview of the American League Championship Series game coming up. Ball ball's on the Giants' 12-yard line. Third and 4.5, 5, something in that area. Rypien to throw it. Touchdown, McGee.
It was interesting, Pat, on the play before that, they went to the corner to Ricky Sanders, and they had that covered perfectly. So now they come back to Tim McGee to the post. Down here, you're either going to run a post, which is down and in toward the goal post, or a corner, which is down and out towards the corner. The corner wasn't there, but the post was.
Lohmiller's extra point is good. It's 27-7. 53 seconds left to play in the first half. McGee from Rypien.
Here's Tim McGee here, and the post again as you come down and you go into this area. And you'll see him come down. It looks like they're in a double coverage. He has the motion here. Now he starts into the post, then back to the corner, and then back to the post. That was a good move. That was a double move. He started post, corner, post on that one. Now watch Rypien. He's looking off to his right, then he looks to the left, and just sees McGee and lets him have it right there. That was a good move by McGee. Post,
it was.
Corner, post.
We were talking to Mark Rypien yesterday and talking about which knee being injured, and it's his plant foot. And that apparently does not bother him that much.
Yeah, I think the plant foot's the one that stops you, and he says if you can get stopped and then you can get off that foot, and he thinks that that's not going to bother him. The thing that was going to bother him would be getting it hit and twisted, but not throwing in any way.
Lohmiller drilled it through the uprights on the kickoff. Unfortunately for the Redskins, that doesn't count for anything.
Phil Simms even looks a little bigger. See how he's coming in there? His chest looks like it's out a little more in the front. Those two ones in the front are kind of spread apart. That happens to you when you're going perfect.
That would make you swell a little bit, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. You swell, your voice is deeper,
yeah.
You're authoritative.
Today's a day for him to sing the national anthem.
Everyone says he's a leader, he's our guy. Whatever he says, we'll do. Want to kneel down, it's okay.
He went from being an engineer to being a technician.
If you want to know why his chest is out, you just look at this. They've had the ball 4 times in the first half, and they've all been touchdowns. And he is yet to throw an incomplete pass.
Dave Meggett is also perfect. 1 for 1 and a touchdown.
That was to Mike Sherrard, but we knew that they had that run pass in, and they also have it where they may throw it to Simms. So somewhere in this game they may not need it, but if they do, he could also be a pass receiver.
That one may stay under wraps in this contest. That's the end of the first half with the score: the Giants 27, the Redskins 7. Time statistics: the Giants with 15 first downs, 16 minutes 49 seconds. Time of possession, that has been so far, not just today but this year, one of their great strengths.
And I think it all started off again with the blocking of the offensive line, and then that given the confidence, and then being able to run the ball, then these other things could go. And if you look at what Phil Simms has done here, you see he was 1 for 1 to the left, 3 for 3 here in the middle, 3 for 3 in the right. Of course, this 1 for 1 here, the deep one, that's Dave Meggett's. 2 for 2 deep in the middle. So he's thrown it right, middle, left, deep. And the only place they haven't thrown is deep to the right side. But between he and David Meggett, it has been a perfect half of football for the Giants.
The Giants rushing to the left 6 times for 17 yards, to the right 14 times for 58 yards. Dave Meggett headed back for the Giant end zone. Redskins will kick off to begin the second half. Phil Simms, as John Madden said, perfect so far. 9 out of 9, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 101 yards.
Yeah, and he looks and acts as young as ever. You know, talking to him yesterday and you know, thinking of Phil Simms, and then looking and realizing that he's a 15-year veteran. I mean, it seems like he looks like he's been playing for 4 or 5 years. He has aged very, very well.
Well, he was talking yesterday, made you realize he was talking about games. I remember this back in 1982, he said, against San Diego, and things like that. Lohmiller's kick again through the uprights.
Yeah, with all the talk this week about Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan retiring, asked Phil Simms if he's ever thought about that, and he said no. He said, I'm not a planner. He said, I don't set goals, I don't plan, and he said, I just get ready to play games and love it. And I think Art Monk is another guy like that just gets ready and just keeps going and stays in shape. And you know, this game is so hard to play and to be the best. You're always most impressed with the guys that do it the longest.
Tillman hit behind the line of scrimmage by Tim Johnson first.
And the fans love it because they're thinking we finally stopped that run. Because the Giants have really had their way. And again, you know, we talked about earlier that it all starts with a run. You can run, and then you can play pass, and you can run pass. You put a lot of pressure on the defense. You don't get a pass rush. Those are all the things that the Giants did in the first half.
2nd down and 10. Simms getting the formation straight, getting people in the right place. Outside quickly. That's to Sherrard. He dodged about 3 Redskins before they finally got him down, led by Carl Banks.
Bill Sherrard, he put that ball out there, you know, not to be a hot dog, but you put that ball out there like that to get balance. I've never, you know, I was always a big old tackle. I never had to worry about balance with the ball, but sometimes the guys will use that ball to run and that ball to balance them, and that's what Mike Sherrard did on that one, although he only gained a couple yards by it.
4 wide receivers, 3rd and 6. Bart Oates, the center, making sure, and he hopes that everyone is accounted for. Megan came up to make sure he heard, and Simms takes a timeout.
Or Megan could have come up with a question that Simms didn't like.
It's one that Dan Reeves doesn't like.
That frustrates head coaches. Using
those timeouts this early in the half. Come over here. I want to talk about this. Coming up next here on CBS, Game 5, the White Sox and Blue Jays. That series tied at 2-2. Both teams winning away from home. As soon as we're through with the activities here at RFK Stadium, look at Lawrence Taylor's leg. Had problems with that hamstring, limped around a little bit last week. They took him out. 3rd and 6. The Giants 5 times have been successful, 5 out of 5 on 3rd down situations like this. Simms to throw it. Simms is down, the ball's loose. And down, the Redskins saying, we have it.
Well, Red Cashin is saying there and pointing to the ground. And what that means is he's saying he was down, the whistle blew before the ball came out.
Once they start pointing to the ground.
See, they're getting their blitzes now. They're getting the extra guy coming. That's the first time they got to Phil Simms today. And they're saying that that ball came out, the whistle blew before the ball came out.
Landetta's first punt of the day. Get away from it. Takes a giant bounce, and Brian Mitchell never got to it. And it winds up being a 52-yard kick, but there's a flag on the play. They're going to get a chance to look at another one from Landetta.
And the Giants are going to have to punt that one again, and they're going to have to punt it from 5 yards back. Brian Mitchell should get a better jump on it than he did the last one.
Ineligible down the field. Number 55 of the kickers, 5 yards, still 4th down.
Marcus Buckley is number 55.
Again, when the ball snapped, only the 2 end guys can go. And you see right here, he's the 3rd guy. These 2 guys, okay. This one, okay. This one here, no.
And so Landeta will be standing back into the end zone now, about 5 yards deep.
Brian Mitchell should get a better jump on this one than he did the last one. A punt returner should never let a ball hit the ground.
Landeta's kick is a lot better, but Mitchell will have a chance. They fake a reverse to no avail.
You know, that's an interesting play. What they play is they put Darrell Green on one of those outside guys like he's going to bump and run with him. And then he runs with a guy coming down the field. Then he can either fake or be handed the reverse. That's what he did on that play.
Not much of a fake. That's a tough one to time.
Well, you know, it's tough doing that because you've just been in the defensive series and you just stopped and you've been chasing receivers all over the field and you're tired, then you have to run that punt thing. That's tough on a guy.
Here's Mark Rypien back to throw it. Incomplete.
See, and that's what playing with an injury does to a quarterback. He starts feeling stuff that's not there. And, you know, and even Phil Simms said that. He remember when he was hurt, he said that you start thinking everything, okay, they're coming, and there's no one coming. And I think that happened to Rypien on that play. He felt pressure that wasn't there, and he got rid of the ball when he didn't want to, or in a way that he didn't want to.
So it brings up 2nd and 10. Mitchell has done most of the playing since Brooks fumbled earlier. He is a better pass receiver. Rypien's pass incomplete. Juggled by Sanders.
Can't blame Rypien for that one. He was perfect. He had good pass protection. He dropped back there. He stepped up there, and boom, he threw that thing in there perfectly. And he knows it, too. I mean, it's tough enough. It's tough enough to find one and to hit one to not have him drop it. But that was perfect pass protection and a perfect throw.
Redskin offensive line, John, has done a good job of protecting Rypien.
And part of that is that the Giant defense is not a good pass rushing defense. Part of, you know, that's half of it.
Rypien back again. He got hit. Pass is caught by McGee. Diving reception on a ball thrown by Rypien.
And I'll tell you, Keith Hamilton, number 75, is right there. Watch 75 there. Rypien had to step up, and he's going to know, and that was going to be the test. He said the thing that he's going to find out how his knee is when he gets hit, and he got hit on that one, but he makes a perfect throw to Kid McGee.
Good catch by McGee. Rypien's first hit. He's back to throw it again. Going deep. Incomplete in the end zone, intended for Sanders. Rypien grimacing just a bit this time.
Well, he got knocked down again, and now I think that one did hurt his knee a little. On the play before he got knocked down by Keith Hamilton, you're going to watch it here. The protection's pretty good, and it stops right at the end, and Lawrence Taylor comes and really knocks him.
That might not be his knee.
Oh, yeah, but that, I mean, you can get hit. When you have a bad something, you can get hit someplace else, and it goes to the bad something.
That was a bad something.
And Lawrence Taylor brought the bad something with him. He had that in his back pocket that time.
Here's Rypien back to throw. The protection broke down again. Brian Mitchell came to the left. Rypien was looking to the right.
Rip was mad. I think there's some miscommunication there. Either the wrong pass pattern or he didn't like the play that was sent in, but there's something that he didn't like about that play. And he's showing a little frustration. And, you know, he got hit once by Keith Hamilton, then on the next play by Lawrence Taylor, and that will cause the start of frustration.
3rd and 10. Rypien again. McGee, enough for a first down. Covered by Perry Williams. Good throw from Rypien. Bad knee and all.
Now he did, and he moved a little. You know, Rypien is not a moving quarterback, but that time they moved the pocket. Watch here. He's going to come back and move to the left. You see, it's a little roll, little half roll. Anytime Rypien does it, it's just a little roll. McGee just runs a stop out there right in front of Perry Williams.
First and 10 at the Giant 13. 18 make it. Handoff. Mitchell again. Stopped by Carlton Bailey. A flag on the play.
Yeah, usually when you get pressure is when you start moving the pocket. That's what Rypien did on that play before. So, you know, he got some pressure, moved the pocket, went back to the running game. And, of course, the penalty was going to stop this thing that they're starting to get going.
Number 63 on the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
On McKenzie. The guy who can play everywhere, can do everything.
Yeah, and he has. He started on this team as a center, which he's playing now. He started as a guard. He started as a tackle. And those are drive killers, though. I mean, they finally got something going. They got a couple pass completions. They get a little running going. And boy, that holding penalty is the greatest killer of drives that there is.
First and 20, back at the 28. Big draw. Rypien gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell gets back to his feet and gets down to about the 16. Stopped by Greg Jackson.
That was a heck of an effort by Mitchell because he was down, but he wasn't touched. So that was poor defense and poor tackling here. See, he fakes it to Mitchell. Mitchell comes out to the left. Now, as he catches the ball, he slides down, but he's not touched when he's down. Then when the two guys come in, he's going against the grain. See him here. He comes in. Now, if they touch him when he's down, he's down. But see, he's up now. By the time they touch him, and they miss him, that was Carlton Bailey was the first guy who just missed that time.
Second and 8. Shovel pass to Mitchell. Down to about the 5. Mark Collins made the stop. Second time they've used that play successfully.
Usually a guy that can pitch a ball with his offhand is a pretty good athlete. He's usually a pretty good golfer, and that's what Mark Rypien is. Watch this. This is going to be a shovel pass. Let him go. He's going to do it with his left hand. Watch, he just puts it out there with his left hand. Lets a lineman come up the field. So you're going to get the ball in front of the lineman. And then all you have to worry about is linebackers and secondary, but not the big guys.
First and goal at the 5. Rypien has his pass knocked down, very nearly intercepted by David Tate. Cleveland 14, Miami nothing. Dan Marino is out for the year with a torn Achilles injury. 14-10 the score. But the bad news, tragic news really, is the fact that Dan Marino is out for the year.
Dan Marino is the Miami offense.
Mitchell down to about the 2. Flag on the play.
Red Cashin called that one, and the referee called it, and he called it illegal motion against the Redskins.
Before the snap, false start. Number 69 on the offense. 5 yards, second down.
Red Cashin's a referee, and he lines up behind the quarterback. So he was looking at that from behind.
9:24. 9:24.
Mark Schlereth was the Redskin call for the penalty. Second and 10. That's Monk in motion. Rypien out of the pocket, and down is Rypien. From behind by Mike Fox. Stacy Dillard was there as well.
I'll tell you who you have to give credit to is Perry Williams on that one, because he was trying to throw to the left, and Perry Williams is going to have great coverage here. This is where he's trying to throw. He's trying to throw back here to this point. Now, if we just watch, you see you go in motion here. Here's Perry Williams right down here. Now watch the coverage that he has here, because that's where he's trying to go. And if we can stop it right now, this is where he's trying to throw. He has good coverage right there. So that's what caused the sack, was that good downfield coverage.
Rypien back. Will be out of the end zone intended for McGree. Bring up a third down. Fourth down, beg your pardon.
That was the same play right at the end of the half that McGee made the touchdown on, that post from the left side. The Giants probably talked about that at halftime too, and it wasn't there. That was good coverage on third down, good coverage on fourth down. I mean second down and third down, causing fourth down.
Chip Lohmiller will try with Pat Eilers holding from 35 yards away. Lohmiller's kick is no good. High enough, far enough, but no good. So the Giants will take over with 8:53 left in the third quarter, leading 27-7. Back at RFK Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Giants leading the Redskins 27-7. Jackson the man in motion, Tillman the ball carrier, straight ahead.
Maybe the Giants are going to go back to the way they started the game. Remember, they started running to Tillman, and that first drive was a lot of running. When Sims got hot, they kind of went away from Tillman to running, and maybe now they want to settle down and get back to the way they started.
That would be a very intelligent idea. Second down and 5. Tillman being chased by Noga. Redskin ball, the interception. Tom Carter, I believe, is the Redskin who came up with it. Now they're saying no, it's not an interception.
I think Phil Simms was trying to throw this one away. It's a bootleg. He fakes the run. Noga pressures him. He has to get to the outside. Now he's just trying to throw that ball down and away. I think he's trying to throw it out of bounds, but he just doesn't get it there. And you see, you're right, that was Carter that had the ball. I guess they're ruling that the ball hit the ground.
That was close.
It was a heck of a play by the rookie Tom Carter.
That looked like an interception.
That was Phil Simms' first incompletion today, and it should have been an interception, but again, he just threw it a little short. He was trying to throw that away.
Megan is the deep back. Sims to throw it. Caught by McCaffrey. Not backwards, but I think he had enough for a first down. Brad Edwards on the stop.
What Dan Reeves was talking about is using McCaffrey more in the game and using less of Derek Brown. In other words, McCaffrey's a big wide receiver, and if you have a tight end who's not a blocker, then you can use a big wide receiver because they're both the same type of guy. I think Ed McCaffrey, if he's healthy, is a guy that will give you over the year a lot of good big third down plays.
That's the problem. Staying healthy. Tillman cut down by Tim Johnson as he started to make his cut.
Well, Tim Johnson gets penetration. You see here, they don't get him blocked. He gets penetration and gets into the backfield. What they did is they play that Eagle defense where they overload the middle. See, he just takes on Oates, pulls him off to the left, and then just gets penetration and gets in the backfield. That's a heck of a play by Tim Johnson. Took on the center square, took his left hand, just went boom, just pushed him right by him, and he was right there in the backfield.
Tillman only got a yard. Meggett replaces Tillman. Reverse to Jackson. Jackson into Redskin territory. Finally run out of bounds by Edwards.
Guarantee you, when you have a Dan Reeves coach team, you are going to have these kind of things. You're going to have reverses like this. You're going to have flea flickers. You're going to have run passes. You're not going to let the defense just play vanilla all day. And I'll tell you, they've done an excellent job of not only putting those plays in, but mixing them up and calling them at the right time.
Brian Williams is now the center for the Giants, replacing Oates. Sims gives to Tillman. Tillman to the Redskin 35. Stopped by Copeland. 13-yard gain.
I'm impressed with this Lewis Tillman because I think he's a tough guy. I mean, and he just goes with reckless abandon. I mean, he just gets that ball and just takes off. Just watch him come here to the left, and just right now, I mean, just boom, he hits that thing before people have time to react. It doesn't take a lot of blocking when Lewis Tillman's running the ball.
He's had 20 carries for 76 yards. He said to us yesterday he was hoping for 20 carries at least. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Jason Buck. There's Bart Oates.
Yeah, I think, remember, we saw that play where he was stuffed there by Tim Johnson. The next play was a reverse. So he didn't come out after that play with Tim Johnson. He came out after the reverse play.
We'll bring up the 2nd and 10 situation. Brian Williams is number 59.
Brian Williams was a first-round draft choice that they've had around here for 5 years, has never been able to beat anyone out in that offensive line.
Redskin blitz after Tillman, but again, Tim Johnson is the first man there. Well, Richie Pettibone said to us yesterday that Tim Johnson is starting to play like he can play.
Yeah, and you know, it's too bad for the Redskins' sake that it's so late, because they should have been stopping those runs like that earlier. That time, as you said, they brought a blitz. And Richie Pettibone wants to bring a blitz to confuse him when he knows it's run, to get that 8th man up there. And they did, and the guy that wasn't blocked then was Tim Johnson.
Dave Meggett replaces Tillman behind Sims. Sims just had a duck. No guy. Went right over his head. Forced him down.
Sims is talking to Brian Williams. He's coaching him out there. And right there in the middle of the field, he said, look, when they come in, you have to pick them up. Now, Noga's going to come from the outside. You see, he has the blitz coming straight up the middle. No one blocked number 72. But they had a lot of things going. They had line stunts.
Number 47 on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
That'll all be changed now, as A.J. Johnson was called for holding. And it's a first down, Giants.
And A.J. Johnson didn't need the holding. He didn't even need any coverage because there was a jailbreak on that thing. They had defensive line stunts and blitz. And they didn't pick up a couple of guys. Noga came free.
On first down, here's the flea flicker. Sims just had to get rid of it and does to Mark Jackson. He is hit at the Redskin 30.
Well, you know, one thing now, the Redskin defense is getting a lot more aggressive. And they're not allowing these things to happen, because earlier the Giants were running and doing things like this flea flicker, hand the ball to Tillman. Now they're saying the heck with it. They're just going after the guy, and Andre Collins just went right after Phil Sims.
Bobby Wilson hurt for the Redskins. The Giants 27, Redskins 7, 2nd and 5. It's Meggett again, along with Rashid in the backfield. Sims will throw it. Jackson makes the reception inside the 20. Stopped by Copeland, but a first down, Giants.
Watch how quickly Sims gets back and makes a decision to throw the ball. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, step, and then zip that thing right in there. I mean, you have to get back. You have to get set. You have to read the coverage. You can't throw the ball until your feet are ready. But he did all those things before throwing to Jackson.
1st and 10. 18.5-yard line. Giants trying for more. Johnson jumped and got back. Handoff is to Megan.
You know, there are running backs that make moves before they get into the hole and then after they get into the hole. But David Megan is good enough to make them while he's in the hole right there. I mean, some guys make them before they get there and after they've been there, but they don't do it while they're in there. Megan is one of the guys that can make them before, in the hole, and then after he's in the hole.
And picked up 8 yards.
He's making moves all the time.
Aaron Pierce. Would be blocking for Megan, but Gobea is around his ankles.
That's one of the first times we've heard Gobea's name mentioned. I think the Giants have done a good job of blocking the defensive line and the linebackers because we haven't heard a lot of Andre Collins, although he put pressure on Sims a couple of plays ago, or Kurt Gobea, or Carl Banks.
Just saw Banks angry earlier, but that's all.
I mean, he hasn't done much about it. You got to take that and do it on the other guy.
3rd and 4.
Well, they got the ball.
4 wide receiver. Sims. Incomplete. Intended for McCaffrey.
Hey, that was good coverage by the Redskins and excellent offensive line play because Sims in that situation should not have had that much time. But just watch the time that he has. If we just stop it here, we see that he got a guy here, a guy here, a guy here. Everyone's covered. There's no one open, and that's why he has to wait and wait. But his line gave him real good protection.
Treadwell, perfect on field goals so far this year, but this is blocked. Scramble still for it. It's going to be the Redskin ball no matter who recovered. Redskins will take over. A minute and 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
And Lamont Holliquist blocks this field goal. You're going to see him. He's just left unblocked. They block out, they block in, and 96 comes right up the middle, although that was a poor kick.
I mean, very low kick.
Yeah, it was low. Anyone could have blocked that one.
Pass is to Middleton. Middleton near midfield. And again, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update. Jim Nance.
All right, Pat, watch the holder for the Cowboys. Jay Novacek. Set up for a field goal? No, it's a fake. Untouched Novacek touchdown, and the Cowboys are up 21-3. 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Back to Pat and John.
27-7 at RFK. The Giants leading Redskins 1st and 10. Ricky Irvin. Running back. That's Rypien's throw to McGee. To about the 42. Stopped by David Tate again.
And of course, you can see that the Redskins offense in this half has just passed every time. And when you're 3 touchdowns down, that'll do it. The run isn't going to get you there. You got to get some scores, and you have to get them quickly.
2nd and 1. Hand off to Ricky Irvin. And Irvin's barrels down to about the Giant 29. They say you never forget about missed extra points. This is way down the road and way down the scoreboard, but still it's something to keep in mind.
The Redskins are playing hurry up now. They're going without a huddle, knowing that they need 3 touchdowns.
Collins came firing out of there with the ball. Tim McGee made the reception. Now they say it's incomplete. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Giants 27, the Redskins 7. Back at RFK Stadium, 2nd and 10. Rypien, incomplete. Desmond Howard was the intended receiver. Charles Mann doing most of the talking to Al Noga. After 3 quarters, I guess the most significant is the time of possession and, of course, the turnovers, too.
Yeah, and then what the Giants did with that time of possession. I mean, they were able to, in that first half, they were perfect. I mean, they had good mixture, run and pass, and things was perfect.
From behind by Corey Miller. Rypien never saw him. He's limping again.
Yeah, if there's anything that's going to get Rypien, it's going to be that kind of play, and I think that one got him. That's the one, and that was the one that he was worried about. You watch Corey Miller from the top of the screen. See, he's coming. No one gets him, and then he just hits Rypien, and Rypien didn't see him coming or feel him coming, and all the pressure went to that knee, and Rypien is limping now. That one hurt him.
4th and 18, and they're going. Rypien limps back. Not enough to Desmond Howard. It looks like it's about a yard short of first down yardage. And Mark Rypien limps off.
I think he'd been holding up pretty well today, and then when Corey Miller got him, I think that was the one that hurt him. But although for that 4th down play coming back there, that was a heck of a throw. Desmond Howard should have gotten the first.
We'll return to RFK Stadium after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. RFK Stadium in Washington. The Giants leading the Redskins by 20. Giant ball at their own 21-yard line. Phil Simms has played all the way, as you would expect. Louis Tillman is the deep back. Flag on the play. Both sides of the field. The Redskin defensive line jump. Maybe they were pulled off.
Encroachment before the ball was snapped. Number 94 on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Bobby Wilson encroached.
Well, you know what they're trying to do? They're just trying to get aggressive, and they're just trying to get up there and and get the ball back. The Giants have really moved the ball around well. Look at that. That's one of the new things with the Giants, throwing to the outside receiver. 9 of 11 to the wide receiver.
Simms to Tillman. On first down, and he got a couple. Stopped by Shane Collins. That was Louis Tillman's 23rd carry. That's a career high for him.
You know, that's kind of been a thing since Dan Reeves has come over to the Giants, of having a tailback and having him run the ball a lot. Of course, Rodney Hampton was running the ball on a record pace, and then he gets injured. Now Tillman comes in today and runs for more times than he ever has as a pro.
2nd and 2. He's probably going to get some more. It does. Stopped by Buck just as he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And you see those safeties in there. You see 26 is Danny Copeland. Brad Edwards is up there. They're really getting 9 men up there darn near to stop the run now. You just look at it. See, they get the safety up here, and they get a safety up here. Now they're trying to get 9 men in this defensive area so that when the ball snaps, there's going to be no place that they can run the ball. And they just have all the gaps covered. When you get 8 guys up, you can put a guy in every gap because there are 8 gaps to run in.
Tillman got more than I thought. It's 1st and 10. They have to hurry. They got it off. Sims just had to throw it away. Gouveia was firing up the middle on him.
He threw it right to Dan Reeves. That's what he's looking. He says no one blocks Gouveia. And he could see that one. He's pointing to everyone there and saying, look, number 54. He said he came straight up the middle. Watch him. Here's Gouveia. He's going to come right up the middle. They don't block him. Then at the end, they try and hold him, but it's too late. Williams blocks to the left. Cratch comes down. He can't even grab him. He said, what the heck? I'll throw it to the coach. You're not going to block him.
The coach was a fine receiver at one time.
Yeah, but he still can't. I mean, he can't catch it that way. Just one-handed in the suit.
That's Megan. Oh, one hand in the suit, you can't do that.
I think he's the best dress coach. You know, it used to be in the old days, a lot of coaches dressed like Dan Reeves with the suit and the tie and the thing. Now they all got jackets and logos and caps and stuff that has names on it. He may be the only coach in the NFL that coaches without any names on his body.
Well, he's coaching in New York, representing the Giants.
But it doesn't say anything.
36. Reverse coming to Jackson. Got enough for the first down. It's pretty good running by a wide receiver.
I'll tell you, it was a good block on Danny Copeland. He got chopped down, and he didn't even see the runner go by him. Watch Copeland. He's going to come up. He's number 26 right here at the bottom of the screen. Boom. He gets there. He gets chopped down, and that gives that soft corner out there for Mark Jackson to get around.
Nifty running by Mark Jackson.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Phil Simms of the Giants completed his first 10 passes. The Giants had three drives of over 7 minutes. First touchdowns on their first 4 possessions. Tim Johnson of the Redskins was shaken up on that last play. He played well. Noga figure out what happened to Tim Johnson.
You see, he got hit right in the side there. Even before he went down, I'm surprised it didn't hurt Darrell Green. Darrell Green weighs about 170 pounds.
That was called against Doug Riesenberg. False start. So the penalty goes against the Giants, not Al Noga.
You know, Tim Johnson, it looked like he hurt his left leg, too, as he came down here. He was hit in the side when he was in the air, and then, you know, that whole weight coming down on the ground looked like it could have gotten the left leg.
Tillman bangs over the right side this time. Stopped by Andre Collins. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League with CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Washington Redskins, and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd and 12. Sims back to throw. Going deep for Sherrard, and Sherrard will score his 2nd of the day. Chased by Tom Carter, 55 yards. Sims to Carter.
And that's what they were looking for. They got man-to-man on the rookie. Tom Carter was isolated out here on Mike Sherrard. Him right here in the slot. He brings him in, and then he runs a corner on him. Now what Carter did, when a guy beats you, you got to go catch him. Don't look back at the ball. That's where Sherrard got away from him. He brought him in, he made a move, then Carter looked back at Sims, and then the guy ran right by him.
Sims to Sherrard.
Talking about running right by, there's a couple of fans on the field.
And a pretty good open field tackle.
Yeah. And it wasn't a Washington Redskin. Sherrard makes a move on Carter, and Phil Simms makes a great pass.
And the security guard takes down a spectator.
The spectator was trying to get Sherrard because Tom Carter couldn't.
Spectator wasn't out of gas. Extra point is good. And it's 34-7. The Giants lead. DeLuiso to kick off. And again, the ball blows off the tee. Sherrard, the touchdown pass from Simms, the first time he has caught 2 touchdown passes in a game. The other from Dave Meggett, that one from Simms.
Well, Sherrard saw what he wanted, man-to-man with a rookie. Simms saw what he wanted, a blitz, knowing that he had man-to-man, and they hooked up perfectly.
Ryan Mitchell returns the kickoff to about the 23.
I've always said it starts with good pass protection. Now the Redskins are going to come in a blitz. The line picks it up well. Tillman's going to make a good block right here. See, boom, he picks up Govea. That gives Simms time. Now Simms has man-to-man with Sherrard out there, and he makes a perfect throw. But it all starts with that line. Those guys have to pick up the blitzes. Now here's the pattern. Now Sherrard's in the slot. You see him work there. Now where Carter makes a mistake is right there where he turns back and look. You can't look back at your quarterback when the guy you're covering is in front of you.
Rich Gannon is the quarterback now for Washington, and he gets hit the first time he throws, but Desmond Howard made the catch. Now let's see, the ball came loose. Willie Beeman came up with the ball for the Giants.
Yeah, I saw Gannon walking in today. He was coming in the same time we were, and he was limping in his street clothes. He has a bad foot. He was injured a week ago.
Back to throw is Gannon. Very mobile. Gannon to about the 45. Rypien limped off the last time. Limped when he was hit before. Gannon gets him in a hurry up. Simms, by the way, today. That's Eloanibi, another injured Redskin. Simms is 14 out of 17 for 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And Simms has had a great day, and I think that's the reason. That's the reason that Rypien's out. The score is 34-7, so you're not going to come back to win that game, so you may as well not worry about that one and go on to the next one. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any more of Phil Simms today.
I think you're absolutely right.
When you have something going like that, you have 15 years of experience. You don't need any more practice.
On first down to Irvin from Gannon. First down, Redskins. Today's game was produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann, directed by Larry Cavallina. Senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. The executive in charge of production is Rick Gentile.
The Giants have also taken Lawrence Taylor out now. That's how Corey Miller becomes that rush guy.
That's Gannon to McGee. Mark Rypien, a very courageous day, but not that productive.
Yeah, you know, especially when the first 4 times the Giants have the ball, they scored touchdowns. Now, that really puts pressure on you. Now you can't play conservative. You can't just move the chains. You have to think in terms of a lot of touchdowns quickly, and that's hard to play that way. They've been taking Lawrence Taylor up all day. You know, they have about 5 layers of stuff on that hamstring by now.
Gannon going deep for McGee. Out of bounds in the end zone. You know, you look back, John, the Redskins haven't scored a point in the first quarter this year. That's a pretty tough obstacle to overcome by itself.
Yeah, and then you get off to that slow start, and then it's compounded when the other team gets off to a quick start.
Number 69 on the offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Yeah, Mark Schlereth has had a tough day today with the penalties and the blocking and those types of things. He's a good player. He's a tough guy, and again, it's just been an uphill battle. In fact, not only just this game for the Washington Redskins, but it's been an uphill battle for him ever since that opening game against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night.
You get in a situation like that, and you spend the day pass blocking every day. Here's Gannon. Almost got away, but didn't, from Corey Miller.
What happens when they take Taylor out, then Corey Miller plays Taylor's position. So he becomes a pass rushing linebacker. And you see he starts on the outside, and this is the game. He starts on the outside, then he loops back or makes a twist to the inside. But he's playing Lawrence Taylor's position and doing Lawrence Taylor type things now.
Here's Gannon. He's going to take off again, and Gannon slides at the 35. Corey Raymond.
And I don't mean to say that he could do what Lawrence Taylor did when Lawrence Taylor was a great player.
Who can?
I mean, Lawrence Taylor used to do this thing, and Lawrence Taylor would get double, but then Lawrence Taylor would get here and run him down.
And usually strip the ball loose.
Yeah.
There's Rich Gannon running in circles for a moment. Now looking for somewhere else to go. Treated like a rag doll.
Yeah, well, he was looking for pressure that wasn't there. This guy's been a warrior over the years. I think of all the defensive players I've ever seen in my life, Lawrence Taylor was the best.
Certainly one of the most dominant of all time. Tim Johnson, thigh wrap, heading for the dugout. Kent Graham now is the Giant quarterback. To Megan. Megan dragged down about the 39-yard line. It's a tough steps anyway.
You know, anytime you hurt a leg, the toughest thing to do is go downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, that's a fresh one, and the first thing that it does is tighten up, so you want to get it x-rayed and find out exactly what's wrong with it. And the next thing you want to do is just get ice on it to keep the swelling down. And there ought to be something you can do when you're losing 34-7. That may be the toughest of all of them.
On second down, Tillman didn't get a first. Stopped by Al Noga.
I think the Giants have really surprised everyone. You know, we did their first game when they played the Chicago Bears, and you think of what they were a year ago, and I really didn't expect a lot from the Giants, but they've gotten off to a good start now. You look in their division, they have the Redskins down. I mean, the Redskins, you know, could be getting close to being eliminated. The Eagles had a good start, but they've lost Randall Cunningham. The Giants are up there. You know, they always have to worry about the Dallas Cowboys, who I think are probably the best team in the league right now. But the Giants have been one of the big surprises to me of this year.
Well, they look like, you always hear about swinging within yourself in golf or baseball. The Giants look like they're playing within their capability.
Well, and they're spreading it out more. I mean, and you know, it used to be that they used to throw to the tight ends and the backs all the time, but now they got those wide receivers. They're throwing it out to the wide receivers. Every game they have a flea flicker, they have a run pass, they got good tricks in there, and they're really a much more imaginative offense than they've been. Maybe not as good on defense, but much better on offense.
You have to give Dan Reeves a lot of credit. Landetta's punt sails out of bounds.
You know, he does get the credit, and he's an offensive guy. I mean, he was an offensive player at Dallas, an offensive coach and special teams coach also with Tom Landry, an offensive coach for years and head coach of the Denver Broncos.
You know, you bring up something he said yesterday. As you look at Dallas and what they're doing to Indianapolis, and the Bears over Philadelphia. Dan Reeves said he felt that every coach, before he became a head coach, should be a special teams coach.
And then he also thought that every coach, before he becomes a head coach, should spend 5 years up in the press box looking down and calling plays.
Here's Gannon. Outside bump. And out of bounds, Redskins.
You know, the other thing that he said, he's a very good friend of both Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs. And you know, it just seems different to come here to RFK and do games here. It's their first one here without a Joe Gibbs. And it seemed funny being in Chicago without Mike Ditka on the sideline. But Dan Reeves says that he thinks both of those guys will be back in coaching next year.
Screen pass overthrown by Gannon, intended for Irvin. He also said that there was no way he would have ever gone to Chicago to succeed Ditka because they're such good friends.
Yeah, and you know, you don't think of Dan Reeves and Mike Ditka being good friends, but then you realize that they go back to having played with the Dallas Cowboys together, coached with the Cowboys together, and you know, and they were very good friends. I mean, they're two best friends.
And two of the fiercest competitors you will ever meet in any type of endeavor.
That's what it takes to be a coach.
Pass is picked off by David Tate. He lost the ball. The Giants still have it. I believe Jesse Armstead came up with it.
There's a guy that's made some big plays for this Giant team is David Tate. Remember, he used to play for the Chicago Bears. And the way this football game is going today, the situation substitution, the nickel defense, to me, is the biggest part of the defense. And here's Tate. He's 49, and he's just playing safety here. You see Gannon looking around. Tate is playing underneath. He comes underneath Middleton and makes the interception. But guys like Tate, you know, can be a big part of a defense. Like last year, guys like Gant, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, and Woodson. They were nickel, but they were a big part of that defense.
They even had a coach specifically to coach the nickel defense. Flag on the play. A little fracas almost breaking out on the field.
5 yards.
Talking about the NFC East, we're giving Philadelphia the loss. That might be a little bit premature, but the Giants and the Eagles would be tied at 4-1, and Dallas, who lost their first 2 games, now at 3-2. Phoenix plays later on.
I think the Giants, like I said, have been the biggest surprise. The Eagles got off to a great start, but they're just losing too many players, and the Cowboys still have to be the team to beat. They have to be right now considered the best team in the NFL.
Here's Rashid carrying the ball, primarily used as a blocker. He had a good early year when he went to school at the University of Oklahoma.
I'll tell you, if these Giants could do these kind of things, I mean, if they can, you know, dominate with an offensive line, have a running game, maybe get this guy healthy to help him on defense, you know, they're going to win a lot of games and maybe be there at the end for something.
Well, this one included their next 6 out of their next 7 games were within the division. So they'll have a good chance to find out how good they are. That's Tillman.
You know, you talk about guys that age well or seem ageless. Ricky Jackson when you watch New Orleans Saints, and Phil Simms just seems that way. I mean, just seeing him yesterday, I remember talking to him, and I was thinking, 15 years, this guy doesn't seem that old to be a 15-year veteran. I mean, he's still young and spry, and then he comes out and he doesn't play like he's been playing for 15 years. I mean, he doesn't look beat up or beaten down, slowed up or slowed down.
I think when they gave him the job this year, said the team is yours, that just made him feel younger. Hand off to Tillman. Stopped finally by Brad Edwards, and now a penalty marker down.
I was talking last week in New York to Dean Taylor, and he told me, he said that Simms is a man. He said Simms has always been the man with the Giants. He said he's taken some bum raps, but he said he's the toughest quarterback in the NFL. And he said he's the guy that's going to make them go, and he's making them go and making them go all the way.
You were talking with whom?
Dean Taylor.
Who is Dean Taylor? Is he a well-known expert?
No, he's just a guy that lives in New York and lives around in New York. And he's a big fan of the Giants, and he's always been. I mean, he walks around New York, and he wears a Giants cap on backwards, and he knows everything about the Giants, and he knows everything about every player in the NFL. He's an amazing guy.
Dean Taylor to be forever remembered. This is Rashid. He's going to score. Kenyon Rashid.
Kenyon Rashid from the University of Oklahoma. He's a rookie. He wasn't even drafted this year. Dan Reeves says that, he didn't get the ball a lot down there. We were just looking for a big running back. He said Rashid's 245, 250 pounds. We just wanted that kind of guy. And he said he came to training camp. He said this guy's a player. He made the team, and he said he's been very impressive, not only blocking but even running.
Does Dean Taylor know about him?
Dean Taylor, I don't know. I mean, he thinks Sims is a man. He thinks it goes on Sims. Phil Sims says the toughest quarterback in the NFL. That's all they need is Sims.
The extra point by Treadwell is good. 3:25 left to play in the contest. Kenyon Rashid from Kansas City.
Right now, this is the worst defeat of the Redskins to the Giants since 1961. And I think these things always hurt when you get beaten this badly, but when it's a division game and when it's a rivalry game, it really has to eat at you. I mean, it just has to, Richie Pettibone, his first chance at being a head coach, following Joe Gibbs, one of the greatest coaches ever, has to be tough. And then to get off to this start is...
I was in that game in 1961.
So you put the last licking on the Redskins that they've had like this?
Like this. I didn't do it personally, don't get me wrong.
Well, you were part of it.
Yeah. Daloiso to kick off. Busy day. By the time the ball blows off the tee, that's the third mulligan. You only get one.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a win. I think it's the way Daloiso puts it on there. He must have some special way of putting that ball on the tee where he gets that much distance with it. I mean, this guy can kick the ball off farther than anyone in the league.
This one.
Looked like it was shot out of a rocket, that one. Like the junk machine. And he didn't even take a divot. Some guys, sometimes when you, what do you call that when you hit them and you get them a little fat, you take the tee with it. That one, that tee didn't even move.
You undercut it.
You undercut it. He didn't even undercut that one.
Suppose you just happened up on that thing, that tee in the night, and you didn't know what it was. What would you think?
I don't know, but I think when I see that, that's the way John Daly drives the golf ball. Does the tee stay in the ground like that when Daly hits it?
It's supposed to go backwards if you hit it correctly.
Number 90 is Corey Whitmer. You know what? The Giants have 3 guys on their defense named Corey. That's a league record.
Yeah, never be broken.
You could never have too many Coreys.
That's Jesse Campbell who wound up with the ball. It's been a long time since we've been at RFK Stadium and seen this many empty seats this early.
Well, when you have interceptions by Jesse Campbell and touchdown runs by Kenyon Rashid, you know that the game is out of hand one way or the other.
Clean interception by Jesse Campbell. The Giants have the ball, not the touchdown.
And the Giants do have a good mixture on this team, and we talked about mixture of offense and defense, but they have a mixture of of young players, middle-aged players, and older players. And I think that their program is really on the right track.
They have a first down at the Redskin 36, leading 41-7. Handoff is to Rashid to the 30. Danny Copeland tripped him up.
Rashid keeps running like this. People are going to say, why in the heck did you hand it to Tillman so much? Why didn't you give it to Rashid more often? But that's when it's fun to run. It's fun, you know, when you got them 41-7. Your line has been in there all day beating them down. You have them beaten down, and then you can just finish them off. And that's what the Giants are doing now. This is a very fun part of football if you're wearing a blue jersey.
That's Rashid again. He's 5'11", 245. 2 minutes left to play, stopped by Waller. 2 minutes left with the Giants leading 41-7. 2 minutes left at RFK Stadium. The Giants 41, Washington 7. Sherrard with his 2 touchdowns today. One from Meggett, one from Sims.
I'll tell you, that one from Sims, he made a great move on Tom Carter. You know, the blitz was coming and the Sims saw it. They picked it up. Sherrard had man-to-man coverage.
3rd and 6. Tillman. First down. Brad Edwards and Waller made the stop.
This has to kill Richie Pettibone. He dreamed forever about becoming a head coach in the National Football League, and then this isn't part of your dream. Look at where they've had their success. They've run to the left side 14 times for 51 yards, but look at this. To the right, they've run 100 more yards. 151 yards they've gotten to their right side.
Tillman has got 104 yards now on 29 carries. And the Giants will just coast from here on as Kent Graham just takes the ball and backs away.
You know, so that right side of the line is, you know, Cratch and Riesenberg. But another guy who played well today was Howard Cross.
Right.
I think when you say that the offensive line and pass protection and the run really blocked well, I think you have to include the tight end in there because Cross made some good blocks.
Well, you think about the 2 touchdowns immediately, the 2 touchdown passes he caught, but as you say, his blocking was very good also. They'll just let it run down. This will test the loyalty of the Hogs.
And one like this is going to give this New York Giant team a lot more confidence. I mean, they know a lot more about themselves now after this game than they did yesterday coming into this game.
Outstanding day for Dan Reeves and for Phil Sims. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from RFK Stadium. The final score, the Giants 41, the Redskins 7. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. Jim and Terry will have all the scores and highlights. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage
Hello, Joseph.
of the National Football League.
How you doing, babe? Hang in there. How you doing? Hang in there. I'm doing good. All right. Take it on.